because everybody plays differently, especially every sortie character, sortie player like a Corrin, like a neutral play sortie character. Are they going to go aggressive? Are they going to play defensive? Are they just going to nair neutral? How do you approach? And IceKnight is great at finding those like dash attack or down tilt openings.
Oh yeah, I mean, IceKnight is respected and one of the top seeds of the tournament for a reason. So Mui has their work cut out for them for sure.
See a little bit of neutral gameplay here. IceKnight is not afraid to just stay towards the edge, does not need center stage to get the pressure going, and it's sometimes better just to hang under the platform so that you cannot get easily approached unless Mui wants to short hop in which case Greninja has a plethora of ways to dash underneath and cause some problems.
Oh yeah, and I love watching IceKnight because it feels like their burst range is just longer than other players, because sometimes I'll see them kind of sitting on that corner like you mentioned, and then all of a sudden the gap just closes as soon as they see like a opening in their opponent, and then, you know, obviously the punish game is on point.
Absolutely. A lot of scramble here in the middle of the stage. Now we got a little bit of an opening from Mui. I love that, waiting out the nair, not approaching, just drifting backwards a little bit, and that's that kind of playstyle that you have to be worried about when somebody has disjoints. But speaking of disjoints, IceKnight takes stock one with a massive fair.
And that's what's even more dangerous about IceKnight playing those corners, is that that's where Greninja's the deadliest. You know, those forward airs, yeah, that dash attack forward air kill confirm that we saw there is so devastating, and the back air sets up a very nasty edge guard here, Kevin.
Oh, yep. I love the use of Hydro Pump. IceKnight loves to use that just to throw off the timing of a recovery. It doesn't have to necessarily do a proper edge guard, but anything that can possibly force them to grab ledge a second later, allowing for an opening. I've seen IceKnight get too many kills with F-tilt.
Yeah. Very tried and true, but you see Mui just kind of getting beat up here, but from the matches that I've seen, they kind of play that by their weight, by their time. You know, they could take a couple of beatings, but when they find that opening, they really go, you know, full steam ahead. So I'm just waiting for that, but IceKnight may not let it happen.
Tech chase, tech chase, tech chase. That's big thing he's known for, and he's not slipping up against players that are seated so much lower than him. That's not necessarily a diss at Mui, that's just IceKnight's special.
Exactly, and you see this offense is starting up. At this point, it's a little bit more than extra credit as the 2-stock lead, and man, Mui has just not much recourse here.
Yeah, I think at this point, you know, you play neutral as to the best of your ability, but you start thinking about what you want your next stage to be. You know, I never want to say it's over until it's over, but I think that you have to reserve some mental here. And if you try your absolute hardest to kill a Greninja, a slippery character that can blow you up in an instant, and you get to the last stock and then you die anyways, it's too much mental that's taken out of here. So all you need to do is learn about what your opponent's going to be doing and try to get some of that conditioning game back in your favor before game 2.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, you don't want to expend like a lot of effort and kind of play your hand trying to reclaim a game 1, especially if it's a little bit tough like it's looking right now.
100% agree with you there. Look for some kill confirms, see what you can get. Exactly.
Yeah.
See, IceKnight likes to jump after getting up from ledge, assuming that he's not punished for neutral get up. So that's some information. Keep that information in your back pocket. If you can get to the last stock, you know, maybe that's a great thing to do, but I think it's all part of the same field here. If you can work the conditioning game, you might do better in this game to begin with, but don't focus on it too hard.
Of course. Yeah, but honestly, as the game goes longer and longer, you know, things start to kind of turn. If Mui gets another, I was about to say, if that ended right there, that would have been crazy. But if Mui kind of gets another advantage state, things could start to the tides of battle could turn.
Yep. Nice Hydro Pump there, and you can't, you know, deal with that too well, because if you're that spacing away from the ledge, you can't use up the Corrin, right? You can't recover from that angle without getting punished anyways. So you had to float back down. The best chance you had was maybe neutral air dodge or fast fall really quickly, but the reaction that you have to know that that's how Hydro Pump is going to send you, especially when it just very briefly came out, IceKnight is going to be more ready for it because it was his setup, you know?
Oh yeah. Yep. All right, going into game 2, you got to recompose. If you don't win this one here, it gets very, very dicey. Going down 2-0, especially to one of the top seeds, puts you in a very tough scenario. So this game is going to be very pivotal here.
Yeah, I agree. I think the run back is a mistake, by the way. I don't think that you need to go back to PS2. Greninja can control so much of the ground game. Having the platforms is more of a detriment to you, especially when there's so much stage for him to run through, and you don't get to force your game plan very well because IceKnight can just run around the stage. And like this type of position is fantastic for Mui if he can maintain the chase, but if he can't, IceKnight just gets to drift back, run to the other ledge, and then recover neutral in a lot more of a favorable position for himself.
Yeah, and the double back air here, just an edge guard.
Nice.
Opportunity, and yeah, I think that one does it.
That's got it, yep. They'll try to recover that one, but this is still not too far in the dust. I think that Mui got a lot of good information from game 1, but I think getting a little bit impatient trying to find these openings. Oh, that was so good.
Okay.
Oh,
We survive. Yeah, we survive, and we continue to fight. Mui just needs to kind of find the big play, kind of get that momentum rolling, kind of just stop letting IceKnight play their game. Oh, but that's easier said than done. Absolutely. Here. Going in.
Yeah, it's so hard to find these neutral openings. The disjoint from Nair on Greninja is so palpable that you don't expect it, and unfortunately Corrin's aerial startups are just a little bit too long. However...
yeah, the startup they give Empower, but no, the pin, not sweet spotting, just kind of sticking IceKnight in there, so no follow-up, and the up air, maybe a DI cross-up or maybe just enough to KO, but regardless, we find ourselves in a very similar scenario to game 1.
Yeah, a little bit of more percentage on IceKnight when Mui got to first stock here than in game 1, but does that really matter when you're 2 stocks down? Big question mark here, and I think this is just like a very straightforward, I picked the wrong stage here. I don't think that necessarily, you know, Mui's skill level is going to be so high as to be able to switch stages and instantly start doing better, but it's definitely not helping your case.
Yeah, it's tough because, you know, PS2 is kind of just where everybody goes to. That's your default. But a lot of times you do have to have that keen eye to be like, my opponent is way too comfortable here. My opponent is getting way too many advantages here. And, you know, try to utilize some of that stage list.
Absolutely. Now, if IceKnight keeps approaching, Mui can actually just kind of play this defensive drift back aerial, which is exactly what afforded him the ability to kill IceKnight for stock 1. However, I think IceKnight's starting to be like, all right, I lost my first stock. I don't need to force this. I don't need to look for clips here. I'm just going to play the quick water shuriken game and wait until Mui has to approach.
Yeah, I know exactly that feeling. You're sitting at 100 on your third stock. That's the clip mode. You know, you start trying to go for the haymakers, but now that we've lost that stock, we've calmed it down. You can see the neutral game has slowed down, and IceKnight gets a reset there, but nope, unfortunately not finding anything big.
Mui is swinging, looking for some advantage, something to say, like, where's my window? How do I get back in here? Oh, and that was a great chase there. Calling out the neutral air dodge, not quite enough on the back air, of course, but looking for that pin. Kill, it would kill with the tip, but, I mean, it's so hard to fish for that.
Yeah, and I don't know how you kind of play this when your KO confirms are so telegraphed, like that recovery. IceKnight knew the perfect option to do it and just ends it with a water shuriken.
Go deep. Actually, that might have been a shadow sneak. With the way he backflipped recovering, I wasn't sure if that was a jump or it sounded like water shuriken. So hard to know, but either way, you know, Mui's not going to wonder exactly how he got killed there. He's going to wonder how he can win the next game.
Exactly.
It looks like small battlefield.
Yep. Mixing it up with some Smattlefield. I love to see it on my screen.
That's better.
You know, dual plat still, but obviously a lot less stage real estate, a little bit more close quarters, and those drift back aerials that you're talking about will cover a little bit more range. And if you can kind of slowly but surely, you know, work your way towards IceKnight and then just kind of give him a ultimatum, like you're either going to get hit by this aerial or be pressured into a corner.
Yeah.
I feel like Movie finds something potentially.
Agreed, and I think I might have misled a little bit with the dual platform situation. Dual platform is definitely preferable than, say, like a Final Destination or a Town and City, because the frame traps that you have to worry about against Greninja are just way too difficult. And if you have the platforms to recover to, fantastic. Them being closer together is so pivotal here because it means that when IceKnight is in disadvantage, he does not have as much space to work with to recover himself. And I think that's really crucial for Mui. And I'm glad that we see a little bit of a stage swap. The neutral is a little bit more even now.
For sure here. It rolls back on, and as you can see, it's really just been the IceKnight show. Every neutral opening has just led to so much more damage, so much more favorable positions, and Mui, unfortunately, you know, has had a couple glimmers, but nothing to the level.
Yeah, you can't recover high when you're in free fall, unfortunately, against Greninja. And things are starting to look difficult again. No percentage has been added to IceKnight since that first opening, since Corrin was 30% stock 1, and now we're at 100% stock 2, and nothing doing for Mui.
Yeah, and okay, we do get a back air there. Try to close out the stock. It does it effortlessly there.
I love that. I just back air off stage, classic option. But IceKnight is swatting back. Mui finds stage first, but IceKnight doesn't need stage first. He just needs an opening.
Okay, I do like the double jump read, but man, IceKnight's gonna battle back, and now you really have to play perfect here because you don't want to go down your second stock and, you know, find yourself down 2 stocks to 1.
And you can't get hit by those. Oh my goodness! Yeah, the up air That's the difficult thing when you're in disadvantage. You can also get juggled by Greninja fairly easily. It's a little bit more precision-oriented, but IceKnight has no issues finding that precision with the ground speed as heavy as it is.
Yeah. A bit tough here. Okay, does get the falling nair. That's usually like the bread and butter for Corrin. Advantage State is starting to catch up here, but can't find the stock just yet.
Mui's got to stay on stage here. IceKnight ran away just far enough that he doesn't get hit by the pin, and now Mui is off stage. Gave up the entire neutral interaction, and now is fully off stage and nowhere to go. We have air dodge and no recovery. IceKnight didn't need to come back. Mui did, unfortunately, and that's going to be a 3-0 for IceKnight.
3-0 and a handshake there, Kevin. And I mean, Mui kind of put up a fight, but you could just feel it that IceKnight had full control of the set regardless. Never really even felt down to the last stock there in any of the 3 games.
No, it wasn't close. It wasn't close. And that begs the question, is it better to have beaten the same character that you're about to face earlier in bracket, or is it misleading?